Dr. Jannine Krause here at Serenity Natural Health Clinic, and I'm here today to talk to you about acupuncture. So the first question I get when someone is asking about acupuncture is, does it hurt? The second question is, what do the needles look like? So come on over, I'm going to show you what they look like. Okay, so what I've put out here is a normal blood draw needle. Why? Because that's usually what people are comparing to. We've all been traumatized from vaccinations and all our blood draws over the years, and so we think about that when we think about needles. And so there's one there. And then here is an acupuncture needle. So if I turn it this way, we can kind of do for a comparison. A blood draw needle is hollow, and the acupuncture needle is filiform, otherwise known as solid. And so you can see there, I'm gonna put them a little bit closer, that's the difference. It's about 10 sizes. We've got a 21 gauge here, and I have a 36 gauge needle here. So that's quite a difference. Now you hear the bigger number. The bigger number means the smaller needle. And so that's the difference between a blood draw needle here and an acupuncture needle here. Now, next I'm going to show you what it looks like when you get acupuncture, and I'll talk a little bit through about what's happening in the body. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what it's like to get an acupuncture needle inserted into your skin. So first, of course, we have to clean off the area. Since my model here has a little bit of neck and back pain, I'm going to start with cleaning off the area for his neck. So that's been cleaned off with a little bit of alcohol. It's not completely sterile. Alcohol's just wiping off those surface bugs. So next thing I'm going to do is open up a package of needles. All the needles are brand new. They are disposable. I do not reuse needles. That's gross. No one should do that. Next, I have a guide tube here, and I'm going to take that guide tube and I'm going to insert a needle into that guide tube. So you'll see that, and then you'll see me put that needle right in there, so I'm threading the needle into the guide tube. I use a guide tube because it helps me to insert the needles into the skin easily. Some folks just do what we call freehand, and that's the needle on its own. So coming back over here, this is an acupuncture point right here in the middle of that trapezius. And so what I typically will do is I will place the guide tube there. You'll see the needle here, and then I'm going to have my patient take a big, big, big breath in. And then I'm gonna have my patient take a big, big, big breath out, and then the needle's tapped in. So there's the needle sitting there. The needle is going into the muscle in this particular area. Why? Because I'm wanting to affect his muscles. So when the needle goes in, what's happening is it's creating a reaction, because the body's not supposed to have needles sticking into it. And so the body thinks it's a little wound. And so what the messages start in this immediate area is to bring blood to that area. And so as the blood's rushing to that area, it's going to help to relax that muscle. Why? Because we have a lot of muscles that are like beef jerky. They don't get a lot of blood flow to them. Same thing with tendons and ligaments. And so that's one of the benefits of acupuncture. We can get blood through the muscles, we can get blood to tendon and ligaments to help to reduce pain. The other way acupuncture works to reduce pain is that needle sitting in there is getting rid of inflammatory cytokines. These are molecules that just keep sending messages up to the brain and say pain, pain, pain. And so they're flushing them out. And at the same time, we're releasing some endorphins. Why? Because acupuncture needles are going to go in and they're going to create a reaction. It's much like a little wound, but it's not going to be painful as if you cut yourself or if you were sewing and you poked yourself with the needle. You might feel the needle go in, but after that, you shouldn't feel too much. Now, some folks might feel a little bit of a deep ache. That's good. It's like that deep ache you get after you whack your elbow on something. That's good. Why? Because that's that blood flow moving to that area, and that's what we want. And so this acupuncture needle is going to sit there for about 20 to 30 minutes. I sometimes will rearrange the needles and change it up just depending on the treatment plan. But nevertheless, as long as the needles have been in about a half hour for most folks with pain, that's going to give you a great reaction and help with your pain control. The other aspect of acupuncture that I'd like to talk about is that we have 14 different channels on our body. It's like little highways. And what I see in terms of pain is that there's a traffic jam or a car accident in that particular channel. In this case, our model has pain right here on the top of his shoulders. He also has pain up into his neck here and to the sides. The neck region here coming down is something called the urinary bladder channel. And so what acupuncture does is we put needles in this specific channel to help to move traffic jams throughout that channel. And so for example, we're going to try another point here. My patient here has some pretty good tension that I know of right in that C5, 6 region. And so I can feel a little knot there. So I'm just gonna have him take a big breath in for me and then a big breath out. Perfect. So there's that needle there in the neck. And so now what I'm doing is working to stimulate the urinary bladder channel. And sequentially, I'll put in more points going down the whole channel and open that whole channel up so that that traffic jam is now relieved. Why? Because we've opened up another pathway for blood flow. And so essentially what acupuncture is creating small wounds to enhance blood flow to certain areas. Now, if you didn't have pain and say you were working with emotional types of things like anxiety, depression, digestive disorders, we're just working on moving blood in those particular channels that might be stuck. Or we're working on balancing. And so say, for example, your batteries, your kidney energy is a little bit low. We're going to boost up that. We'll work on certain points to help to boost up the digestive system. Now, how do I know these points work for that? Well, thanks to some lovely Chinese warriors over 5,000 years ago, those guys went through all of the needle pokes with whalebone and all kinds of crazy things. We're lucky these days. They learned that certain points helped to treat certain conditions. And so I use the traditional Chinese medicine point system to help with all the other conditions. So I'm Dr. Jannine Krause, and this is a demo of